of Inspiration. I'm your host, Sonia Bueno de la Torre, and I'm here to help you to connect to yourself, to your soul, and to the higher aspect of your being so that you can feel confident, vibrant, and free to be your true self and to make a difference in this world. And today I'm super excited that I not only have like one special guest, I have two special people today, Jennifer Cornbleet and Mark Futterman. Jenny and Mark, welcome to the Soul Infused Monday Show.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you.
It's
Hi,
great
everyone.
to be
It's
here.
so nice to be here with you.
Yeah, I'm so excited, and I know it always takes a moment for people to jump in. And we are going to talk about today how to find meaning and purpose in difficult times. And right now, it's a challenging time. It's a crazy time. And it also reflects, if you're watching this later at a point, that instead of the coronavirus, maybe it's something else that's challenging in your life. So I think this is a topic that is really relevant for life in general. I'm super excited to dive into that with you in a minute. And I also wanted to say that this today is day number 1 of launching the official Corona Support and Self-Care Week. Today is day number 1, and only today we are on Facebook. From tomorrow on, Tuesday to Friday, we're going to be in my living room. So it's not going to be on Facebook. So I've sent out an email with the link to access it. If you have not gotten it, or if you're not on my email list, just leave a comment below or send me a private message so that my team can send you that over. So people are jumping in. Hello, welcome again to the Soul Infused Monday Show. And Jenny and Mark are two people I love you dearly. You have been on my journey, onto my entrepreneurial journey for a few years, being together in a mastermind. They're currently coaches in the mastermind that I'm now. They are incredible in helping people like me, like people who want to make a difference in the world, to find their message and to live their purpose in their business. And you do so much more. So before we jump into the topic, Jenny and Mark, why don't you introduce yourself, share a little bit about what you do, and maybe even how the situation is impacting you right now.
Sure.
Thank you. It's so great to be here. We love you back. And hi, everyone. And well, the first thing I would say is, so we call ourselves meaning and message whisperers. That's really what we feel passionate about. And you want to say a little bit about that?
Sure. And what we love doing is helping people uncover really what your life has been perfectly preparing you to heal or teach. That's what we think of as purpose. What has your life been preparing you to heal or teach? And then how do you move into your most creative and fulfilling work by marrying that with your talents, your gifts, with what you love to do, and then really make the difference that you're here to make.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes. And you are indeed message whisperers for me. You've helped me many times. And so I know that this is a challenging time for many. A lot of people are in anxiety, and also even for, regardless if you have your own business or not. And for me, it's also an opportunity to dig a little deeper, to go inward. And because I have you here, I wanted to bring the topic up on, hey, how can you use this moment to actually connect deeper into what's your purpose, or bringing meaning into the situation. So what's your approach, or what would you tell the people who are kind of like really anxious and say, oh my God, that makes no sense, or how can I actually see meaning in all of this? Like, what's your approach to that?
Yeah. Well, the first thing I would want to say to anybody who's feeling anxious is that it's okay that you feel anxious or scared or joyful or a combination, all of those things. One thing I see out there, and we see out there right now, is there are some people saying, like, you should be afraid or you shouldn't be afraid. This is the time to go for it. And we feel really strongly like one thing that's important is to allow yourself to feel everything that you feel, and fear is so much, if what you're feeling is fear, for example, it's so much easier to deal with when you, instead of pushing it away, you allow it to be, and then something else can enter and you can come back and remember, I'm safe in this moment, or I have something to deal with in this moment. But you kind of get out of your mind and the catastrophizing and the pushing it away. So that's that's the first thing I would want to say.
And Mark, quick, I'm just getting some messages that people don't hear you as loud as they hear me. Is there any
Okay.
you could maybe do about that?
Talk louder.
We'll talk louder.
How's that?
Yeah, and thank you for letting us know. Yeah, I got several messages here that they don't hear you as loud as me, so they are fairly quiet. So you guys, pump up the volume as much as you can, and Mark and Jenny are gonna be louder.
We'll
So,
be louder,
and
but not with our voices.
Yeah, it's funny to be talking about going inward and trying to project at the same time. So we'll keep that in mind.
And the one thing that I want to emphasize that Mark, that you just said, because I say this so many times, and I always love when someone else kind of brings the voice in. It's okay the way you feel right now, no matter what that feeling is. Of course, there's anxiety, and of course, we don't want to get caught up in it and be just. But it's okay to feel whatever you feel right now. So thank you for saying that. I wanted to, just in case they didn't hear that part, very important part that I say a lot. Okay, so. Maybe if you want to repeat just in a nutshell, or Jenny, if you want to give your intake and just go closer to the microphone.
Yeah, well, and I want to say too, Sonia, I love what you said about it can be an opportunity to go inward and to do inner work, because so many times in our busy, fast-paced world, we forget about the importance of that, or don't give it the time that it really needs. And this pause is really an opportunity. So while it may be tempting, in this moment to go into an urgency mode of what can I do now, and kind of try to fix something or whatever, Mark and I really feel like this is an opportunity to just take a pause, listen, go inward, and see what is required in this moment, both to take care of ourselves and to be in service for each other and the larger collective. And yeah, and Mark, if you want to chime in what you were saying about whatever you feel is okay,
Well, yeah. And so as far as, finding meaning and purpose in these times, I think this is a great opportunity. One way that we feel like people sometimes get really confused about meaning and purpose is that they will think that the purpose is the outer thing that they do. And actually your purpose is the inner meaning you bring to what you do. So we work with something, we call it your boldly original proposition, or your BOP for short. And what we mean by that is, we really believe, Jenny said this, that everybody's life has been perfectly preparing you to do something, but it's not even about what you do. Your life has been preparing you to feel strongly about something, to believe there's something in this world that could be different, would be better if it were different. There's something you'd like to help heal, something you'd like to teach. And the form is kind of secondary to the meaning you bring it. So let me give an example, just a simple example. So one of my beliefs is that everybody has a voice, everybody has something to say, and everybody deserves to be heard. So that's sort of like a guiding principle for me. And I have applied it in different ways. Like at one time I did web design, and that was what made it meaningful for me, was that I was helping people find their voice through web design. Now we're meeting in Message Whisperers, we coach people, and it's the same underlying purpose. And I think that it's easy in times like this, where some people are not able to do their work, or they're questioning if their work is the right work, or it's easy to think, well, now I've lost purpose and meaning because I'm not maybe getting to do the thing that I did a week ago. But the truth is, you can still bring that meaning to everything you do. So like, for example, if it's about finding your voice, I can bring that to Jenny. I can bring that to the people I connect with. I can bring it to every phone conversation I have, or Zoom call, right? So, and this, because we're on pause, this is a great opportunity actually for people to go inward and really do some self-exploration. And what is the deepest meaning? What is the change I really want to see in the world? And of course, it always starts with moment to moment living it. And so we can do that. Even when you're alone in your house, you can bring that meaning and that purpose to every moment. And what a beautiful opportunity to kind of experience that awakening in that presence.
Yeah, I love that. And I totally agree with you. And whether someone, like I work with a lot of people who have like the inspiration to help others, being as a healer, as an energy person, as a coach. But I also have a lot of people in my community who don't do that necessarily as a business. So we approach both. So I love what you just said because it applies to both. Like if you do have a business and maybe it's on pause, or maybe you have an online business and you can even, put more into it. Whatever you do, the purpose is within you. Purpose is not something that, for me at least, something that you're doing. Your purpose is who you are being. And so what you said, Jenny, about really using the opportunity right now for inner work. Maybe you're postponing it, or maybe, no time for it, or other stuff, or busyness. And this is such a huge opportunity. So would love to hear a little bit more. Also, I love what you said, Mark. And because I have two beautiful people today, Jenny, I would love to have your input as well. And I want to say to you that you're watching, if you have a specific question for Jenny or Mark or me, but you have me every week. So Jenny and Mark are special today. So leave a comment below and I'm happy to ask them the question so that they can answer if you have any. So I'll check the comments while you do.
Yeah. Well, to me, just like Mark was saying, it's such a relief to know that meaning is something that you can bring to anything. And I think there's something about difficult or challenging times, especially, that can actually make it easier even to find what your meaning and purpose is when you have less kind of outward distraction. I mean, there's still distraction because, there's a lot of uncertainty and understandably and fear and a lot of voices jumping in saying what you should be doing at this moment, And so I think that's another reason it's important now to go in and really check in with your own voice. And in doing that, I think it is an opportunity to discover more what that underlying meaning and purpose in your life is, even during this difficult time, because there is a stripping away of a lot of things that we were able to do or talk about or seemed important even a week or two ago that aren't. So there's kind of more, it's like a retreat kind of scenario where when you strip certain things away, it allows, it really matters to come more to the forefront. And, that's why even in history, people who've been in really difficult times, say like, in concentration camps, Viktor Frankl wrote the book, Man's Search for Meaning. That was like during that time, or people who've gone through, just other challenging historical times, they'll often create, great art or, some of their best ideas come to the fore because there is a stripping away where who we really are and what really matters can come to the forefront.
Yeah, I totally agree. And also, and I love what you said about the challenging times because, we went through way worse than what we're going through right now. Like, I just want to point that out. Like, the panic and the fear is enormous and we are all, and I think it's a good thing to a certain extent because it brings us all together. It makes us face certain things. And at the same time, this will pass and we've overcome way worse things than this. Mm-hmm. And I do also believe that we grow through friction. Like what you said is like, this makes it easier because sometimes we're just too busy. Like, or we don't, look at things and we take things for granted and we are not realizing, hey, time passes and we might not actually connect on a deeper level. So I agree with you that I think it's a great opportunity. And this moment is an opportunity to choose, how do I want to deal with it? Who do I want to become in this process? And who do I want to be when I'm on the other side of this? Mm-hmm. And, we can always choose the path of fear, and we can also choose acknowledging the fear and going the path of love and vision and opportunity. So what would you like for people that say, yeah, sounds great, I don't actually know how to do this right now, I'm not seeing any meaning or purpose, do you have a few tips? Like, you and I have plenty, but I want to hear your tips as well on how you approach that, or people can start the journey if they're not quite sure how.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, like we said, I think the key is that the meaning comes from inside, right? So the first opportunity is to, really be aware how much we look for meaning outside. And it's always been true that we play these roles and we do these things, but that's not the truth of who we are. The truth of who we are is much deeper. So, I mean, one of the things that we do through this, in a time like this, is a lot of like slowing down, a lot of like going inside, a lot of meditation, a lot of movement. Um, and I wonder if some of the feeling of I've lost meaning is the fear of uncertainty, you know? And we've been talking about how it's always been true that the past is over and the future's uncertain. It's just that now we feel it. Like the past really is different than the present, and the future is going to be different than what we know right now. You know, I think we can know it's going to be okay because human beings are always okay, right? Like we deal with the most amazing things, like you said. But remember when we were on an event with you a few days ago, where you were there and we were there, and you said, "Let's have a dance break," and you started dancing, and we were dancing. We were moving around the room, and we weren't thinking at that time of meaning or of fear or of any. We were just moving our bodies, and we felt pure joy, you know. And I think that it's so important right now for people to connect with that, and it always comes from being in the present, from something you can do that brings you back to the present.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, even though like just from a kind of tip standpoint, there are certainly questions you can ask yourself, like Sonia was saying a minute ago, like who do I want to be during this time? After this time is over, a year from now, what do I want to look back and say, how have I grown and how did I use that time? Like, there's really great questions you can ask yourself in inquiry. But I just want to kind of echo what Mark said about, I think the primary thing is to get into the present first, whether that's through meditation, movement, breathing, those kinds of things. Because even deep inquiry questions, if we're in a state of contraction or fear or totally in our minds, the deepest, wisest answer won't necessarily come as readily. So I think the first priority, even before the deep inquiry questions, which I think are great and a great thing to kind of, when you're in meditation, ask an open-ended question and let it come. Like, what is needed of me today? How do I want to grow from this experience? Like, you'll know the questions, even, we can give you some, but you'll know them when you're in that space. But I think coming to the present first, whatever practices you have, we all have so many tools. You've got so many great tools, movement, meditation, all of these things. But whatever you can do to come back to that present moment is going to help whatever inquiry you do or whatever questions you ask yourself actually go to the deep place within.
Yeah, thank you so much. And just going to get back, I just want to say, people are saying the sound is better, so you're doing a great job putting the voices out there. And I just love what you said. And I mean, people laugh about me. It's like I can be such a pain in the butt when I say meditate routine every day. Have you meditated to get together? And talking about that, I just wanted to mention it again because maybe you've missed the beginning. Talking about meditation, self-care, dance, being in the present moment, and really using this as an opportunity right now. Make sure that you are joining the support and self-care group that we are doing this week. And today is the first day. And thank you so much, Mark, for Jenny, for being here. And from tomorrow on, Tuesday to Friday, I'm going to host you in my living room as well at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time, to do all of these things to help you to feel better, to bring more meaning, to come more into the present moment, and to use this as an opportunity to grow. So if you have not got my email about it, or you're not on my email list, leave a comment below or send me a private message so that I can, or my team can send you the access code so that you can actually join us. It's completely for free. Every day this week, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern. And having said all of that, and I know that you work with a lot of, like-minded people like me, people who have a bigger vision, who have maybe even a business, but it's not even so much about the business right now. And I also know that many of them struggle right now. They are kind of freaked out themselves. They don't know how to, handle it. And I believe we need them most than ever. Like anyone that's bringing light and purpose into the world is called to, or I call them forward to be in their best, in the best energy and into the highest purpose. Do you have a few words to kind of bring that into, because I know you work with a lot of coaches and entrepreneurs, and for I know that a lot of watching as well, so would love to hear a little bit of inspiration about that.
Well, one thought that I've been working with, which is really helpful, is that every crisis brings a healing. And so we are experiencing something right now that some people define as a crisis, whatever word you want to give it. And we're also in a healing. And we don't know yet what we're healing or what it's going to lead to, but we are the healer. Like so when people will sometimes say, well, this is taking us to a better place. It is, if that's what we choose, and we can choose it every moment. And so I try to remember and help people that we are the healer. The healing is here. Healing is going to come. It's the nature of the world, of life, of humanity, that we have a challenge, we heal, we grow, we learn something, we create art, we create beauty, we create connection. And it starts with us turning toward that and choosing healing for ourselves. And the first step of that healing, I think, is to be okay with uncertainty and not knowing. Like, we don't, because we tend to, as human beings, really be uncomfortable with uncertainty and want to know. And right now, there are things that are unknown, but I think what we can trust is that there is a healing. There is a joy. There is a higher part of ourselves that's not affected by all, like, it's like, the metaphor of the water, and like the waves are going like this, but underneath the water is fine. It's moving calmly, and that's us. And so when we choose that and tune into that, we become part of the healing.
Yeah, absolutely. I often use the metaphor with the waves in a sense of, yeah, sometimes the ocean and the waves are gentle and you just flow with it. And sometimes they knock you off your feet and you might actually swallow water and you don't know what's up and down. And then you come up on this other side again. And we don't really stand on the ocean resisting and fighting the waves, but we do that in life. So I like what you said about it's really being okay with uncertainty, even though it's scary. It's going to be always uncomfortable. Like for human beings, like the unknown is terrifying for the human being, and it's like it's okay to be with that and to be okay that you don't know. Because let's be real. Like from my perspective and my experience and my connection with my highest purpose and essence and who I truly am beyond this physical body, we really don't know much at all. Like the vastness of the knowledge and the consciousness and the being is like our mind can't even grasp it. I'm okay with that, but I wasn't always okay with it. So I know it's not easy. So I love that you said that. And also to really, yeah, to be okay with it, and that we are always healing in some way. And one thing I wanted to really emphasize when you said, yeah, if we choose to, like, if you choose to use this, you will, like you can use it for healing and growing. If you don't, I mean, you will heal and grow in some way still, but the opportunity is a totally different. So yeah, thank you for saying that. So we are coming towards the end. Before we kind of wrap this up for today, and again, thank you so much for being here. I love spending time with you every time we get together. I would like to ask you, is there anything that comes to your heart, your soul, anything that you would like to leave the listeners today? Anything that you want to give them?
Well, I know a lot of people have been saying this, but it seems to be a theme that we are all in this together. We are one being, one humanity, and we always have been. But this crisis, I think, brings that into relief even more. And it's kind of ironic with the physical distancing, that a lot of us are experiencing. We're also experiencing this connectedness that goes beyond, time, space, where we are physically. And so, yeah, I just want to kind of leave people with that it really is going to be okay. It is okay. And we're all in this together.
Mm. One thing that has been coming to me recently is the line from A Course in Miracles. And I can't remember the exact line, but it has to do with that part of the spiritual path is questioning every value that you hold. And it doesn't mean necessarily let go of them. It's just that you look at them, right? And this is such a perfect time because people have this natural inclination to go deep. And what a moment where so many of us are going deep together. Like what a power is in our midst right now. And so it's a beautiful opportunity to just explore your own values and beliefs and come to an even deeper, more authentic place. And so many of us are doing that at the same time. And how could that not lead us to something beautiful?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that. And so thank you. Love it. And before we even close, I want to ask you, what is the most valuable, I mean, by the audience, most valuable thing you're getting out of this interview today with Mark and Jenny? What is landing for you? What is the one thing? And I read one thing Lisa is sharing. Every crisis brings a healing. That's what I want to take away from this. I always love to ask you, what's the number one takeaway you're getting out of this? Like, what's the most valuable thing? And please share it in the comment section. And why I ask this every time is because for several reasons. Number one, when you tune into this, what's the most valuable thing for you, it will anchor deeply within you. So what the words that Jenny and Mark said, like what's the most valuable piece? And then sharing it also allows you to give really an impact to others because it will inspire also others to see, oh, that's a great insight. And of course, it's great feedback for us. So it's a win-win-win for everyone. So just tune in and share with us what's the most valuable thing. And again, I see a few comments here as well. If you want to be part of the Support and Self-Care Week for the rest of the week, make sure you have the access code for it. So if you don't have that email or that information, leave your comment with your email address or send me a private message and we will get that to you. So, and keep the comments going because we are going back, or if you have any specific questions. So Jenny and Mark, if people want to connect with you deeper or follow you on Facebook, I mean, Facebook is easy because you're connected with me, but how can they reach out to you? How they can get to know you a little bit better?
Yeah, probably the easiest way is we have a free Facebook group called Happy Business Revolution, where you can request to join. And it's really all about how you bring meaning and happiness to the work that you do, whether you're an entrepreneur or an artist or a healer, or you just really want to, find that inner meaning and make a difference. It's a great place to be where we share content and trainings, and you can just request to join. It's Happy Business.
Okay. Fantastic. So yeah, I'm going to leave the link for that later as well here, so you can go and join. And yeah, thank you so much, Jenny and Mark. It was such a pleasure. I always love the presence and sharing with you. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here with you and everybody here. Thank you so much.
And I'll see you tomorrow in the self-love too, but Support and Self-Care group. So make sure you join. Much love, and I'll see you next Monday for another show. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Much love.